Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be unboxing a big Bricklink order here, and we're also going to go ahead and talk about whether it's better to buy pieces from Bricklink or from Bricks and Pieces. So let's get started. All right, so starting us off here, we have the biggest part of the order here, which is 2x2 brick. I need a lot of these for the clone base. And if you haven't been watching those videos, I highly recommend you check those out. There's a lot of cool stuff going on over there, and that series has recently just started, but definitely stay tuned for the future videos regarding that because there's a lot of stuff going into it and there's going to be a lot of really cool building techniques. And so there is 1,000 of these 2x2 bricks here. So that is great to see. And so that will help a tremendous amount here. And then the rest of it is all individually bagged in here, it looks like. So that is really good. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to open or take all of these bags out, and I'm going to show you exactly what I got here. So there is blue wedge plates here for the water in the city right over here, and there is also medium azure wedge plates, and here's the other side of the blue, and then looks like the dark azure as well, and brown 1x1 studs here just for foliage and things, and these are going to be probably end up for trees in the clone base. And a lot of this in here is gray plate, and you will soon see that. So we have 1x3s, we have light gray slopes here, we have dark azure plate for the water, and then a couple blue tiles down here as well, and there's a lot of olive green plate. And so I'm just going to kind of skim over this and talk to you about Bricklink here. So Bricklink is essentially it is now owned by Lego, but individual sellers place their inventory online and people like you and I can shop for whatever pieces they want. And so while you'll find basic things that Lego also sells on their website, like 1x2 plate in various colors, you will also find pretty obscure things like these inverted dishes here that have a clock print on them. And you'll also find a tree costume here. And so pretty obscure things like that. Even paint rollers and a black hot dog here are things that Lego does make, but they don't sell on Bricks and Pieces for whatever reason. And so a lot of the basic stuff they do sell, and what's nice about Bricks and Pieces, which is Lego's official website, is that every piece and color is the same price. So every 1x4 plate is going to go for the same price. So the brown is the same as the light gray, and so on and so forth. And here is some dark gray as well. Now with Bricklink, the prices will differ based on availability and also the supply and demand of them. And so you kind of have to get lucky sometimes in finding a seller that has pieces at a good price, because sometimes there is something that's really sought after and people jack up the price because a lot of people want it and not a lot of people are selling it. And so that is something to consider as well, which is actually why I got these bricks in medium azure instead of any other color, because that was the cheapest that I could find in mass quantities. And so brown slopes in here, and then a lot more of these brown connector pieces. These are great to have. And then some more dark azure plate, and then the other side of the wedge plate, it looks like. And so that is one of the main differences between Bricklink and Lego's Bricks and Pieces. The other one is that you have to pay for shipping. I had to pay for shipping on this order here. I will get you the numbers in just a second here. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But with Lego, I know for a fact that they separate their things into two different categories: the bestseller portion of the order and then the standard pieces. The bestsellers come, if you live in North America, they come from North America and they ship to you in about a week. And the standard portion of the order comes from Denmark, so that takes about a month, or sometimes even longer than that. Sometimes it's pushing 2 months. And so with those two categories, if you exceed the $14 minimum in each of those two categories, you will waive the service fee. And if you spend more than $35, you will waive the shipping fee as well. And so what's really nice about that is that you don't have to pay for shipping. So whatever pieces you're buying, that is essentially that. But with the pieces from Bricklink, you have to pay for the shipping. And so how much you pay for shipping is entirely dependent on how much you buy from that seller. And so there is quite a difference between Lego and Bricklink, but the principle is still the same. You get pieces individually instead of having to buy them in sets. And so this is the last item, I believe, in the box here, which is 2x3 plate. And so you'll see that this is a very large order, which is great, which is another bonus of Bricklink. And so the con on the other side of it from Lego's Bricks and Pieces service is that you can only order up to 999 of one item. So if I wanted to get 1,000 2x2 bricks, that wouldn't be possible. I would have to order one less at 999. And so with Bricklink, however much that seller has is fair game. If I wanted 5,000 of these, I could order 5,000 and it wouldn't be a problem as long as the seller that I chose had it. And so that's another thing. Lego limits you on how much quantity you can buy, but for most circumstances, that's not the end of the world. The only time it would be a problem is if you're making a really big project or if you just need a lot of the same type of piece. But for the most part, I ordered, I think 100 1x4 plates and 100 in light gray as well, and then 100 in all different shapes and sizes. But 100 seems to be a pretty good quantity, at least for me, to make a lot of things happen, both in the city and in the clone base behind me. But there's a lot of differences between Lego and Bricklink. Another one to note is that Bricklink sellers, although I can't speak for every Bricklink seller out there, most of them, at least the ones that I've encountered, package everything individually. So they could have easily just thrown this and this together into one bag, but the seller chose to keep them in separate bags just for the sake of simplicity, and I really appreciate that. Whereas with Lego, if you don't order in mass quantities, typically they just throw everything in the same bag, and even if you order more than 100 of an item, which is the threshold I've seen to get something individually, there are times where the factory just puts everything in one bag, even though you ordered a large quantity of something, and so that takes a lot of time to sort. Whereas with this, all I have to do is just count all of these items here. And so that's really nice to see as well. And so with these pieces, a lot of them, like I said, are going to go towards the clone base, but a fair number of them will go towards the city. Like all of the blue plates and the wedge plates and stuff are going to go towards the water here. And the brown plate, the gray plate, the masonry bricks as well will also go towards the city. And so there's a lot of good stuff in here. And so that is another con of Bricklink, actually, and a plus from Lego Bricks and Pieces. Lego has most of their inventory on their website, and so you can buy almost any different type of piece that you want. Whereas if you're buying something from Bricklink, you are limited to what that one seller has. And obviously you could place different orders, but then you'd have to pay 2 shipping costs, and it just escalates from there. And so I was lucky. I found one seller that had almost everything that I needed. And so I went and I bought it, obviously. But there are times where you go in and they don't have the quantity you want, or they just don't have the piece at all. And so that is unfortunate to see. But sometimes it is good to go to Bricklink, and sometimes it is good to go to Lego. It just depends on what you're looking for. But overall, I think this is a really, really good option. If you've never shopped on Bricklink before, I highly recommend at least checking it out. They have thousands and thousands of sellers on there, each from different countries and having different size stores and different types of pieces. And they also sell minifigures and sets as a whole, and old instructions and boxes and gear and things that you can't buy directly from Lego anymore or ever at all. And so that is why Bricklink is good, but sometimes it is nice to go to Lego and to not have to pay for shipping and to get everything in one spot. You don't have to place multiple orders, assuming you're ordering less than 1,000 of something. And especially with the bestseller pieces, that they're going to arrive to you within 1 week, and they will get that to you fast and give you tracking for it. Whereas some Bricklink sellers don't give you tracking. Unfortunately, this order did not give me tracking, but it showed up in a decently timely manner, and so that is really nice to see as well. The third option is obviously Pick-a-Brick. You could go to Pick-a-Brick in a physical Lego store and get pieces, but again, you are limited to what the wall has to offer. If you need a 4x4 plate in green and they don't have the 4x4 plate in green, then you're completely out of luck. But the Pick-a-Brick walls do tend to have decent stuff, and so if you're looking for basic brick or for white studs, which I've been using a lot of over in the beach and also in the clone base, if you're looking for really just anything, if you're looking for basic plate to just use under the structures of things or basic brick, you can't go wrong with the Pick-a-Brick wall at your local Lego store. But again, that's assuming you have a Lego store to go to. And so if you don't have a local Lego store, Bricklink or Bricks and Pieces would be your best bet. And so I hope this was helpful for you guys in determining whether you should buy pieces from Bricklink or from Lego, or if you just wanted some entertainment to watch me unbox a whole bunch of pieces. There's over 4,000 in this order, which is really, really awesome. And so there's a lot of good stuff here that will get used in the very near future. So stay tuned for that, both in the city and the clone base. And so I hope that this was informative. Like I said, if you've never shopped online for individual pieces before, you can't go wrong with Lego's direct surface, which is Bricks and Pieces, but also I would not discredit Bricklink. Bricklink is amazing for certain things, and I would highly recommend checking it out if you get the opportunity to do so, because Bricklink, like I said, you can order literally everything that the seller has. There's no quantity limit unless the seller has a quantity limit, but in most cases they don't, and you can get obscure things like clocks and minifig costumes and really obscure things that you wouldn't be able to get from Lego's direct website. And so I would highly, highly recommend this, especially if you don't have a local Lego store. If you have a local Lego store and they have very good pieces all of the time, then maybe this isn't for you. But if you're building a large-scale diorama, whether it's a city, a Star Wars mock, or anything else, the theme doesn't really matter. Bricklink is a great place to go. And so I will leave the seller's information down in the description, the person that I bought this stuff from. The name of the store was Brock's Bricks, and so huge shout out to Brock for getting this out to me in a pretty decent manner. And so the time frame on it was good, and so hopefully everything is here. I have a lot of counting to do, so without me talking too much, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this style of video, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on whether you use Lego's Bricks and Pieces or Bricklink, make sure to drop a comment down below. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.